Hello, fans, collectors, and investors. Welcome back to Iconic Baseball. I'm Iconic Al, and today we're going to continue on the countdown, my top 100 greatest and most iconic ball players in baseball history. This is my passion project. This is what I collect. And today, we are at number 70. It's a player that I watched play, a player that I collected when I was a kid, and a guy that we met after a game one day and got an autograph. I'm talking about the greatest power-hitting catcher in Major League history. One of the great offensive producers at the position. I'm talking about the great Mike Piazza.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Mike, there's something I really think we should talk about. No, Mike, it's not that. I'm used to the mask and the chest protector now. I do respect that. I know you don't hit 346 without being committed to the game. It's just that... Wow, I never knew you spoke French.
Fox Saturday Baseball premieres when Mike Piazza and the Dodgers take on the New York Mets June 1st.
Mike Piazza, certainly the greatest power-hitting catcher in the post-war era. One of the best hitting catchers in baseball history, period. He hit .308 for a career, which is sort of ridiculous for a catcher. Not many catchers in history have a higher career batting average. Maybe, Mickey Cochran comes to mind. He was a .320 career hitter. But Mike Piazza at .308 still has the most home runs as a catcher in baseball history. He hit 399 home runs as a catcher, 427 total, and just had a phenomenal career with the Dodgers and the Mets primarily. He was a sensation when he came up in '93. I remember he just sort of took the MLB by storm that year as a rookie, and everyone wanted his cards. They were the hottest cards in the hobby in '93, '94, that period. In fact, I remember this card, the '93 Flair, was one of my favorite sets at the time. In fact, my brother and my dad and I all collected this set and actually had complete sets. And this was the key card. Even though it wasn't a true rookie card, it was a very hot card back in '93 when this Flair set hit. And this was around the time that a lot of premium sets were being released. '93 SP, '93 Finest, and this was another premium set. It didn't really have any big rookies in it, so you don't hear much about this set anymore, '93 Flair. But just a beautiful set. Very nice glossy cards, thick stock, nice images. I always loved this set, and just really nice color, and just a nice, simple, beautiful set. You don't get lost. There's no borders. It's just kind of a very artistic presentation. Anyway, I digress. Piazza, clearly one of the greatest hitting catchers of all time. Not particularly known as a great defensive catcher, but he amassed 59.5 WAR over the course of his career, which really puts him right up there among the greatest catchers of all time. 2,127 hits, a 12-time All-Star. He won the '93 Rookie of the Year. Limited postseason to look at. He only played 32 postseason games and never got over the hump and got that World Series championship. But just a phenomenal career, well-deserved Hall of Famer. And as I mentioned in the intro, very improbable that he would even be a Hall of Famer, being that he was a 62nd round pick back in '88. And just a lot of good vibes from Mike Piazza. And that ties into my items here. This signed baseball is actually one that I got in person. A nice sweet spot, single signed baseball. And I have some great memories around this ball. I think this is a National League baseball. Yeah, that's a Leonard Coleman National League ball. I got this when he was with the Mets. In 2000, when my brother and I were going to a lot of games every year. And just to show you how dorky and meticulous I was as a collector even 22, 23 years ago, I saved things like my game ticket from that game. April 15th, so this is very early in the season, April 15th, 2000 at Three River Stadium. This is actually the last season at Three River Stadium. This is a $3 ticket, which is generally what we did. We got the cheapest tickets we could get just to get in general admission at Three River Stadium. At the time, you could get in for $1. In, I think, 98, 99, we got in for $1. But by 2000, we were paying $3 to get in. So I got my game ticket from that game that we met Mike Piazza. Anybody that's from Pittsburgh knows about the T, and that's the mass transit in Pittsburgh. And it's the trolley or the T, they call it the T. And so here's my fare ticket from April 15th, 2000, when I went to this game and met Mike Piazza. And we actually waited after the game until the players came out, waited behind a fence where the players sort of walked out of the players' exit across this little, this little street, and they would walk across the street, and then there was a little area where there was a fence and then a shorter fence. The players sometimes would stop and sign as they were walking across this little driveway to the players' bus. So I actually took a picture of Mike Piazza walking from the players' exit across to the bus, and this is just before he actually stopped and signed. And it's kind of blurry, it's not a great photo, but it kind of puts you back in that place where we were getting autographs after the game, and Piazza was nice enough to stop and sign for a bunch of fans, myself included. And then one more piece of dorkiness here. I would make my own certificate of authenticity. So I typed that up back on like my parents' Macintosh computer back in the day. Word processed this thing, saying that this is my baseball, which is hereby authentic and signed by Mike Piazza on April 15th, 2000 at Three River Stadium. So that's my homemade certificate to go along with this baseball, complete with a picture of Mr. Piazza leaving the game, my tea fare, and the game ticket. So there's all my paperwork surrounding that baseball. I was pretty thorough with my provenance at that time even. And this is my key rookie card for Mike Piazza. Again, this is coming from what I like to call the high pop wax era. And this is an era when they were mass producing, and you would argue overproducing baseball cards, overprinting them. But they are beautiful. I mean, not to take anything away, but this is a beautiful classic pose of Mike Piazza. And his, really, what I consider his key rookie card, 92 Bowman. This is the gem mint copy that I've had in my collection for a long time. Recently graded it, and lucky enough to get a 10, which is nice. There are a lot of these graded. In fact, 12,000 of them are graded by PSA, of which 1,866 have received a 10. So certainly there are plentiful copies out there to be had, and I think it's still pretty reasonable. I think it's around $200, somewhere in that range still. And for a guy like Piazza, who has distinguished himself as one of the best hitting catchers in baseball history, I think that's a pretty reasonable, price for a key rookie card in that high grade. Anyway, that's what I have for Mike Piazza: a signed baseball and a key rookie card. Oh, and let's not forget about the 93 Flair, which was a big deal back in the day. Not so much anymore. Now it's not really worth much of anything, but I still like it. It's worth something to me. So thank you again for watching another installment of my countdown. Please subscribe if you haven't as of yet. And until next time, keep collecting and stay iconic.